Cyril Ramaphosa publicly slams Mnangagwa. Tension escalates between South Africa and Zimbabwe. In a moment that will surely be remembered in the political history of Southern Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has broken his usual diplomatic calm and publicly slammed Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa over his controversial leadership style, economic mismanagement, and alleged disregard for democratic values. The remarks were made during a high-level regional summit, shocking many observers who have grown accustomed to a more reserved stance from Ramaphosa regarding Zimbabwe's internal affairs. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more real-time updates, political dramas, and breaking stories from across Africa. You won't want to miss what's coming next. As the SADC heads of state gathered in a closed-door meeting turned heated forum, Ramaphosa took a rare and bold step by addressing what he called the continued erosion of democracy and economic dignity in Zimbabwe. With all eyes on him, the South African president made it clear that silence was no longer an option. He reportedly expressed frustration over the way Zimbabwe's leadership has handled national elections, suppressed opposition voices, and allowed state-sponsored intimidation to flourish unchecked. In his speech, Ramaphosa highlighted the burden Zimbabwe's ongoing crisis has placed on South Africa and neighboring countries. He stated that millions of Zimbabweans fleeing economic hardship and political repression are seeking refuge across borders, especially in South Africa, placing immense pressure on infrastructure, healthcare, and social services. "We cannot carry the weight of Zimbabwe's failures forever," Ramaphosa is quoted as saying, a statement that drew stunned reactions from those in attendance. The bold remarks sent immediate ripples throughout the region. Analysts say Ramaphosa's frustration may have been building for some time, especially as diplomatic efforts to nudge Mnangagwa's administration toward reform have repeatedly fallen on deaf ears. Sources suggest that South Africa, once a quiet supporter of ZANU-PF's leadership, is now re-evaluating its long-standing policy of non-interference. This shift could mark a turning point in how the region deals with Zimbabwe going forward. The South African leader did not stop at criticism alone. He reportedly called for urgent reforms in Zimbabwe's electoral system, stressing the need for fair representation, media freedom, and protection of human rights. Ramaphosa emphasized that the international community, including regional partners, could no longer afford to turn a blind eye. "Zimbabwe's struggle is becoming our crisis," he said, with an unmistakable tone of urgency and resolve. Meanwhile, President Mnangagwa's camp has remained defiant. In a carefully worded response, a government spokesperson dismissed Ramaphosa's remarks as regrettable and misinformed, adding that Zimbabwe remains a sovereign nation guided by its own constitution. However, behind the scenes, sources within Zimbabwe's ruling elite are said to be rattled by the rare public rebuke from a regional ally. This clash marks a significant departure from the usual tone of African diplomacy, which often favors quiet dialogue over public confrontation. It signals that patience may be running out not only in Pretoria but among other African leaders who have witnessed Zimbabwe's prolonged stagnation. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more electrifying updates and to stay ahead of the news curve. Your support helps keep this platform alive and active with all the trending developments from across the continent. As tensions simmer between two powerful Southern African nations, the question now is whether Ramaphosa's public stance will inspire other leaders to follow suit, or whether it will provoke an even deeper rift between Pretoria and Harare. One thing is certain, this is not the end of the story, and all eyes will remain on how Mnangagwa responds, not just to Ramaphosa, but to the people of Zimbabwe, whose cries for change have grown louder by the day. Stay tuned right here for the next big twist in this unfolding political drama.